The Galactic Council had gathered in emergency session for only the third time in recorded history. Representatives from over 200 species filled the massive amphitheater, their varied forms creating a tapestry of biological diversity that would have amazed any human observer. But humans were not invited to this gathering, for they were the very reason it had been called. Ambassador Keth of the Villani spoke first, his crystalline voice resonating through the chamber. The situation has become untenable. The humans have done what we thought impossible. They have driven back the Ravagers. A collective shudder ran through the assembly. The Ravagers had been the galaxy's nightmare for over a millennium. These apex predators stood 3 meters tall, possessed natural armor that could deflect energy weapons, and hunted in coordinated packs that could strip entire colonies bare in hours. They had no homeworld, no central government, no diplomatic protocols. They simply appeared, consumed, and moved on. Impossible, chittered Prime Thinker Nex of the Hive Collective. The Ravagers have never been successfully repelled. The humans must have negotiated some form of tribute arrangement. No, Keth replied, his form flickering with agitation. They fought them, ship to ship, soldier to soldier, and they won. The chamber erupted in disbelief. Species that had cowered before the Ravagers for generations could not comprehend how the newest members of the galactic community, a species that had only achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago, could accomplish what the combined might of the galaxy had failed to do. Admiral Rex of the Terran Defense Force stood before the Ravager War Council, his weathered face showing no fear as he faced the assembled pack leaders. The meeting had been arranged on a neutral asteroid, with both sides maintaining minimal escort fleets. The humans had requested this parley after their third successful defense against Ravager incursions. Your species interests us, Softskin, growled War Alpha Drac, the largest Ravager present. We have consumed worlds for 1,000 cycles, yet your kind meets us with fire and fury. You do not flee, you do not surrender. You fight as we fight. Rex nodded slowly. We fight because we must. But we didn't come here to exchange pleasantries. We came to make you an offer. The Ravagers exchanged glances, their predatory eyes gleaming with curiosity. In all their conquests, no species had ever offered them anything except pleas for mercy. The galaxy fears you, Rex continued. They see you as monsters, as a plague to be avoided. But we see something different. We see warriors without purpose, predators without proper prey. What if we could give you both? War Alpha Drac leaned forward, his massive claws scraping against the metal table. Speak plainly, human. The Void Swarm, Rex said simply. They're massing beyond the galactic rim. Our deep space scouts have detected their advance fleets. They'll reach inhabited systems within 2 years. The mention of the Void Swarm sent a ripple of unease through the Ravager pack. Even they knew. The ancient enemy, a hive-minded species of living ships that had consumed entire galaxies before being driven into the dark spaces between stars. The Council species will scatter or hide, Rex continued. They'll abandon their colonies and retreat to their core worlds. But the Void Swarm will follow them eventually. However, if we work together, human tactical innovation combined with Ravager combat prowess, we might actually stand a chance. Back in the council chambers, the debate raged on. The Villani ambassador had finished his report on human military capabilities, but many representatives remained skeptical. Their technology is primitive, argued Councillor Vox of the Techno-Dominion. Their ships are barely faster than light. Their weapons are kinetic projectiles and crude energy beams. How could they possibly threaten the Ravagers? Because they think differently, Admiral Keth interjected. When the Ravagers attacked the human colony of New Terra, the colonists didn't evacuate. They turned their mining equipment into weapons, their habitation domes into fortresses. They fought from every building, every tunnel, every crater. The Ravagers expected prey, they found predators. The truth was more complex than either side fully understood. Humans had evolved as persistence hunters, capable of tracking prey across vast distances through sheer determination. They had developed as a species that could adapt to any environment, that could turn any tool into a weapon, that could find opportunity in the most desperate circumstances. When the Ravagers encountered humans, they met their match in the most literal sense. Both species understood warfare not as a political tool, but as a fundamental aspect of existence. Both refused to yield when faced with superior odds. Both possessed the crucial combination of intelligence and aggression that had allowed them to dominate their respective corners of the galaxy. Partnership that emerged from that first meeting would reshape galactic politics. Human engineers worked alongside Ravager craftsmen to develop new weapons and ship designs. Human strategists learned pack-hunting tactics, while Ravager war leaders studied human logistics and supply chain management. When the Void Swarm finally arrived, they found not scattered, fearful civilizations but a coordinated defense. Human-designed weapons mounted on Ravager ships, carved through the enemy formations while joint strike teams boarded and destroyed the largest swarm vessels from within. The other species of the galaxy watched in amazement as their two greatest nightmares battled each other in the darkness beyond the stars. Some called it the Alliance of Monsters. Others saw it as the galaxy's salvation. But perhaps the most important observers were the humans and Ravagers themselves, who discovered that the greatest predators in the galaxy were not so different after all. Both species had evolved to survive in hostile environments, to adapt and overcome any challenge, to never surrender in the face of impossible odds. In the end, they had found their perfect match, not in conquest or submission, but in mutual respect between apex predators who understood that sometimes the only way to survive is to fight alongside your equal.